Good morning, YouTubers. Mind the vibration, it's not an earthquake. It's just my little setup out here. I'm smoking my Tom Eltang Sailor Pipe Big, with Popeye on the bottom there. I like this pipe. I used to have the small, and like a year and a half ago, I sold it off. And this is the big one, and it smokes like a charm. Matching tamper. So I've had an interesting experience, and I only just put everything together the other day, so I thought I'd share some of it now and the rest of it this weekend. I'll share the effect with you now and then the cause this weekend, so I won't go into detail there. But let's talk a little bit about tobacco blends and experimentation. Personally, I've decided to kind of get back to the roots of my pipe smoking, the blends that I really enjoyed when I first started smoking a pipe. I've been smoking for a few years now, so I kind of have a good grasp of what type of blends I like to smoke, and I mainly, lately, in the past year, or say year, about the past year, I've become more English oriented, but I'm kind of 50-50 between English and Virginia's. I'm a Virginia kind of guy. It's what I started with. The first few blends that I started to purchase outside of the ones that came with the little kit that I bought when I first started smoking a pipe were mainly Virginia's. And then the first major English purchase that I made was the entire Frog-Morton series, to kind of get a good grasp of, at that time, what was being hailed as, like, the way to get into English outside of Mississippi River, which, if anyone's followed my channel for the past couple of years, you know that was my #1 tobacco. Matter of fact, I'm so into getting back to my roots that I went back to the orange lighter. So as I said, I used to be big into Virginia's, vapor, and English blends, and then all of a sudden I decided to try and experiment a little bit. You know what? There's absolutely nothing wrong with experimenting with tobacco blends. You have to try everything, or at least try to try everything. But this led me down a path that I wasn't expecting to go down. I found out, in the end, for the sake of time, that I'm not a burley smoker. Try as I might, burley and I don't get along very well. And oddly enough, it's not because of the flavors. I actually do enjoy some burley blends. I tried Big and Burley. That was pretty good. Old Joe Krantz. The first time I smoked it, packed a wallop. I wasn't really expecting it. Just flavor-wise, it was a lot heavier than I expected it to be. And I know that a lot of people have said, burley tends to be the more nicotine-heavy tobacco, and I don't really experience any effects from nicotine, no matter how much I smoke of something or how heavy the nicotine content is. So I don't worry too much about that. It really comes down to this. I like the flavor of some of these burleys, but if I smoke it, let's say I go out and I'm hanging out, we're having one of our pipe meetups downtown here in Raleigh. If I go downtown and I smoke a burley blend early in the meetup, then I have no choice but to continue to smoke burley the entire time I'm there, because my taste buds taste nothing after a burley blend. If I were to take this, I have some 3-year-old full Virginia flake in this pipe. If I were to take this pipe along, smoke some, I don't know, smoke some burley flake number 1, for example, and then go ahead and try to smoke any Virginia blend or any English blend afterwards, it wouldn't taste the same. It wouldn't taste as great as I remember it tasting. Earlier this summer, the first time I tried Burley Flake number 1, I tried it. I believe I smoked a bowl of Mississippi Mud, which was way too wet, so I didn't enjoy it. Then I tried Burley Flake number 1. No, then I tried some cigar blends. I tried Burley Flake number 1 a little bit later on. And then the last bowl of tobacco that I remember having was some Northwoods in a J. Cackert. And I tasted nothing. It didn't... Northwoods is one of my favorite blends right now. Along with Countryside, and I couldn't taste anything that I was used to tasting. And I assumed maybe my tongue was a little bit worn out, but then it happened again. The next time we had a pipe meetup, I went ahead, I started the day with some Virginia blend, and then the next thing I smoked was another Burley blend, and my taste buds went out again. So for the sake of testing the theory even further, the last time that we got together for a pipe hangout, I started with a Burley blend, and guess what? When I went to try and smoke some Countryside, I tasted nothing. So my taste buds are telling me that if I decide I want to smoke Burley, guess what? The only thing I get to smoke that day is Burley. And there's nothing wrong with that, because a lot of those Burley blends I enjoy, but for what it does to my taste buds, I would prefer to go back to the blends that I know and love the most. And I've been kind of neglecting all my old favorites. I've got a tin of Escudo, or a mason jar full of Escudo that's been aging for a couple of years now, that hasn't been touched in, well, let's say 14 months, give or take. And that's a little disappointing, because Escudo, the older it gets, the better it becomes. I'm a big fan of Virginia and Virginia Perique, and that's a perfect example of a very well done Virginia Perique. And I love flake tobaccos, being that it's a Virginia Perique flake, a coin cut being a flake. I'm missing out. Mississippi River, it's been 7 or 8 months since I've touched a bowl of Mississippi River, and I had it in a my J. Cackert bent pipe, and it was fantastic. It was just as good as I remember, and the J. Cackert pipe smokes it like a champ, like most J. Cackerts apparently do. And it's been forever since I touched it. So what I've decided to do is spend the rest of the year diving back into all my old favorites and reacquainting myself with my taste buds to see if that's what I still like, to see if these old blends are where I'm at, and see what happens from there. Who knows, down the line I might find myself interested in Burley blends again. My head says, well, my heart says no, but my head says maybe, it's possible. But we'll see what happens as we go down. So I figured I'd spend vacation with the ones that I missed the most. There'll be some full Virginia Flake. There's a tin that I just opened today that was about 3 years old that I'm going to try out while I'm down there. Some Mississippi River, some Escudo, some Frog Morton, Countryside, Northwoods. Those are newer favorites. I've taken my 2002 Christmas cheer. I guess we'll see what I come up with. So the rest of the year, I'm going to dive back into all my old favorites. Plum pudding will be coming out soon. Coming out of my cellar soon is what I mean. I have an 8-ounce tin sitting in there. I might snag a 2-ounce tin just to smoke through. But all my old favorites are going to come out, and we're going to see how I feel at the end. And hopefully I find that maybe I'm better off sticking with what I know. And that my taste buds haven't changed too much, and I'll still enjoy all those old favorites. We'll see what happens. So I guess the moral of the story is experimentation is important, but not always necessary. And sometimes you've got to go back to what you know and what you love. Anyway, I'll give you the other side of the story this weekend when we get down to the shore. So y'all enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you on Saturday.